Welcome back. You're watching the special edition of The Appointment. We're in conversation with the former Finance Minister, Chidambaram. Mr. Chidambaram, I want to ask you a sort of broader question about, I wouldn't use the word demise of the Congress party, but the debacle of the Congress party. At this point in time, you know, if I were to do an analogy with brands, the BJP seems like a sharp, consumer-facing brand, consistent in its direction, consistent in its messaging. The Congress seems like this diffused, stuck-in-the-middle brand where nobody seems to know what it stands for anymore. It's going through an existential crisis. It's going through a crisis of confidence. And that seemed to have plagued the last, at least the second half of the UPA's tenure, where you didn't know whether you were right of center, you were left of center. On one hand, you staked your government's reputation to the nuclear bill and to multi-brand retail. On the other hand, you brought in retrospective taxes. Your own finance minister at that point in time, Pranab Mukherjee, put the cap as far as insurance was concerned and said 26% on insurance is good enough. Nobody knows, or nobody then knew what the Congress stands for, and I don't think anybody today knows where the Congress's economic ideology stands.
Well, that's because you're looking at it through colored glasses. I think we all know where the Congress stands. The Congress stands to the left of center. And let me say that quite clearly. In a country where 32%, 35%, some say 40% of the people are poor, government for many, many more years would have to lean in favor of the poor. If there is any bias in government, it has to be a bias in favor of the poor. That's where the Congress stands, and we are not in any way hesitating to admit that. But we were the one who laid on the table that growth is the best antidote to poverty. It's growth which gives us the revenues, the jobs, the opportunities, and the wherewithal to bring more and more people into the growth process. The Congress started this in 1991. Every Congress government thereafter has taken it forward. The UPA took it forward. Even the short-lived United Front government took it forward. And the UPA too took it forward. But the UPA too, well, I had moved to the Home Ministry then, was faced with some extraordinary circumstances. The international financial crisis, the collapse of the banking system worldwide, and then the developed countries pumping in huge amount of liquidity. These were extraordinary circumstances. We negotiated it. And if you look at the 10-year period, we have still returned a growth rate of 7.5%. I don't think you should judge the UPA or question the UPA's economic credentials based on the last 2 years' performance. I was the finance minister in the last 2 years, but I was trying to arrest a decline and turn the tide, and we were able to arrest it at 5%. Look at our peers. Look at Brazil, Russia, South Africa, Turkey, Philippines.
I won't argue with you on that, sir. But the fact of the matter is that you, while you were in office, were concerned about the fiscal deficit. You were called the fiscal deficit hawk by your opponents in that sense. Because,
what is my successor?
Yeah, but the fact remains that the left-of-center approach that the Congress tried to follow, and the left-of-center approach that you believe the Congress will continue to follow, how does then that fit in with fiscal profligacy versus fiscal prudence?
You see, we can debate whether the three stimulus packages were good or bad. The opinion is divided. I have taken the view that the first was perhaps absolutely necessary. The second was perhaps not necessary, and the third was superfluous. But at that point of time, conventional wisdom, why conventional wisdom? Most economists advised that you must pump in money, government expenditure must be increased, we must breach the fiscal deficit targets if we want to sustain growth. In retrospect, there are voices which question that approach. Now, when I came back to the Home Finance Ministry, I said, no, we have to go back to the path of fiscal consolidation and fiscal rectitude, which is why I appointed the Vijay Kelkar committee.
Sure.
They gave a roadmap. I implemented it. In fact, I bettered the target I set for myself, and I'm glad that Mr. Jaitley has said that he will follow that roadmap.
Sure.
So I think these are decisions taken in a particular context. We can debate them, but I think they were taken in the genuine belief that these decisions will protect growth even while ensuring there is fiscal stability.
Is there space for the left of centre sort of approach? And again, let me ask you this, that the Congress failed to sell or market its ideas. I mean, look at what the Prime Minister is doing, whether it's at Red Fort or it's in Madison Square Garden. The direction and the messaging is consistent. Red tape versus red carpet, make in India, manufacturing, Swachh Bharat, aspirations.
Why don't you add 3 A's, 4 C's,
4
5
PPPs,
D's.
all of that. No, I'm not getting into that. I'm saying
I'm not denying the fact that Mr. Prime Minister Modi is a great salesman. Question is, what is he selling? What are the policy packages he's selling? He has taken so far, and it's too early to judge, and I will be the last person to say you should pass a final judgment on a government in 150 days.
Sure.
In fact, I observed restraint for 150 days even before I spoke up. But even now, I would say we should give them time. What is the policy that is being announced? Where is the policy package? You have taken our Aadhaar, which you rubbished, and you have now said we will implement Aadhaar. You have taken the financial inclusion, which Dr. Rangarajan as governor unfolded, these no-frills account. You have dressed it and said Jan Dhan Yojana. You have taken Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan and called it Swachh Bharat. I'm not complaining. Those are legitimate prerogatives of a new government. To take a program, put lipstick on it, and then try to sell it again. I have no problem.
But they're better
what
marketers.
I want to know is...
They're better marketers.
I said so. I said so. He's a great salesman. But the point is, where are the substantive policy changes? If you want to debate coal, I'm ready to debate that. I think
coal,
it's a great opportunity they missed.
Why have they missed the opportunity?
It's a fantastic opportunity that's missed. All right. What is the position on coal prior to what they have done? We have already amended the Coal Mines Nationalization Act, introduced Section 3. We have amended the Mines and Minerals Development Regulation Act, introduced Section 11A. So, non-Coal India mining is already allowed to those who have end use for cement, steel,
and power
and coal washing.
Sure.
Now, all that you had to do now was to walk that last mile.
So they've done an enabling resolution.
Why
so
enable?
haven't bitten the bullet yet.
Only a disabled government will do enabling resolutions. We have traveled so far. Here was an opportunity. Protect Coal India, and I have a formula for that. Just as we have ONGC as a lead and dominant player, other players in gas. SAIL as a dominant public sector player, other steel players. MTNL, BSNL in the public sector, other private sector. Protect Coal India. Do you know that Coal India today has more mines than it can mine for the next 25 years?
Absolutely, and the production target has been missed year after year.
All I'm saying is give Coal India all the mines it wants. Give Coal India enough mines to grow at, say, 5% or 7% a year. But beyond that, all other mines should have been opened up.
So their argument at this point in time is that let's get done with the e-auction for what has to be done to ensure continuity till the 31st
but that was
of
not
March
a great
on
decision.
account of the Supreme Court's order.
That is not a great decision. That is the mandate of the Supreme Court.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So what is your decision?
Their decision is that we will deal with it and hence we put in the enabling resolution.
Why? Do it now. Do it now. The ordinance has been passed. Just go ahead and open up all the mines.
So what's your take on why they haven't done it?
Why they haven't done it is, I think, again, must be voices within the party, the Swadeshi Jagran Manch, the BMS, the trade union, and maybe some RSS voices. That's why they have not done. Now, what is the difference? We were held back by some voices, they are held back by some voices. Here was a great opportunity. I'm not saying denationalize or privatize Coal India.
Sure.
Protect Coal India. But Coal India's capacity in terms of capital, in terms of human resources is limited. Protect Coal India for the next 25 years. Give it all the mines it will use or open up for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
But beyond that, all other mines should have been opened up.
Time for us to take another break, but on the appointment, the conversation with the former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram continues.